Hi everybody! It's time for another read aloud today, and today I have a special read aloud. One of my favorite authors and illustrators, Tommy DePola, actually passed away this last week on March 30th. And this is such sad news because he has written so many amazing stories and he has very iconic illustrations. When you see his illustrations, they're always this watercolored kind of faded look, and I've just always been a big fan of his. And the book I'm going to read today has been a favorite of my family since my daughter was a little girl, because we are half Italian. Well, my husband is full-blooded Italian, but we love pasta. And we actually had pasta for dinner last night and for lunch today, and this is my pasta pot, and this story is about a magic pasta pot. Mine is not magic, it's just regular. I wish it was magic, but it's not. But we're going to read today about a magic pasta pot. And when we're reading, we're going to have a goal, like always, and it's going to be a goal we've had before, which is I can determine cause and effect in a text. Now, determine, if you remember that word, it means to figure out, right? We're going to figure out the cause and effect in a text. Now, remember, the cause is why something happened. Like, if I came into your room, if I was your mom, and I said, "Why is your room so messy?" And you would say, "Because I was playing with all my toys. I like them all." And that's the problem. So we have the cause. It's not always a problem, but we have a cause, and the effect is what happens. So why is your room such a mess? What caused this? Why is your room a mess? Because I got all of my toys out today. So you have a cause and effect. Well, in this story, we're going to figure out why something happened. We're going to determine the cause and effect in a text, okay? So this story is called Strega Nona, and I'll explain what that means a little bit. It's an old tale retold and illustrated by Tommy DePola. Here we go. So like I said, I want you to be listening for cause and effect. I'm going to stop and ask you at some times what you think is affecting, what's the cause, okay? In a town in Calabria, a long time ago, there lived an old lady everyone called Strega Nona, which meant Grandma Witch. There she is right there. Although all the people in town talked about her in whispers, they all went to see her if they had troubles. Even the priest and the sisters of the convent went, because Strega Nona did have a magic touch. Sisters means nuns. So if you know anything about Catholic religion, that sisters means nuns. All right, here we go. She could cure a headache with oil, water, and a hairpin. Oh, she made special potions for girls who wanted husbands. They fell in love. And she was very good at getting rid of warts. You can see he's so sad. He's got this big wart on his nose, and then ta-da, it's gone. But Strega Nona was getting old, and she needed someone to help her keep her little house and garden. So she put up a sign in the town square. And Big Anthony, who didn't pay attention, went to see her. "Anthony," said Strega Nona, "you must sweep the house and wash the dishes. You must weed the garden and pick the vegetables. You must feed the goat and milk her. And you must fetch the water. For this, I will give you 3 coins and a place to sleep and food to eat." "Oh, grazie," said Big Anthony. Grazie means thank you. "The one thing you must never do," said Strega Nona, "is touch the pasta pot. It is very valuable, and I don't let anyone touch it." And so the days went by. Big Anthony did his work. Strega Nona met with the people who came to see her for headaches and husbands and warts. Big Anthony had a nice bed to sleep in next to the goat shed, and he had food to eat. One evening when Big Anthony was milking the goat, he heard Strega Nona singing. Peeking in the window, he saw Strega Nona standing over the pasta pot. She sang, "Bubble, bubble, pasta pot, boil me some pasta nice and hot. I'm hungry and it's time to sup. Boil enough pasta to fill me up." and the pasta pot bubbled and boiled and was suddenly filled with steaming hot pasta. Then Strega Nona sang, "Enough, enough, pasta pot, I have my pasta nice and hot, so simmer down my pot of clay until I'm hungry another day." How wonderful, thought Big Anthony. That's a magic pot for sure. And Strega Nona called Big Anthony in for supper. But too bad for Big Anthony, because he didn't see Strega Nona blow 3 kisses to the pasta pot. Mwah, mwah, mwah. So what caused the pasta to be made in the pot? Strega Nona sang to the pot, didn't she? And how did she stop the pasta? She sang another song, but then she blew 3 kisses. Very important. And this is what happened. The next day, when Big Anthony went to the town square to fetch the water, he told everyone about the pasta pot. And naturally, everyone laughed at him because it sounded so silly, a pot that cooked all by itself. I know my pot doesn't cook all by itself. I wish it did, but it sure doesn't. "Oh, you'd better go and confess to the priest, Big Anthony," they said. "Such a lie." And Big Anthony was angry, and that wasn't a very good thing to be. "Oh, I'll show them," he said to himself. "Someday I will get the pasta pot and make it cook, and then they'll be sorry." That day came sooner than even Big Anthony would have thought, because 2 days later, Strega Nona said to Big Anthony, "Anthony, I must go over the mountain to the next town to see my friend Strega Amelia. Sweep the house and weed the garden, feed the goat and milk her, and for your lunch, there are some bread and cheese in the cupboard. And remember, don't touch the pasta pot." "Oh, yes, yes, Strega Nona," said Big Anthony. But inside he was thinking, "My chance has finally come." Are you predicting what Big Anthony's going to do? I think he's going to get the pot out. As soon as Strega Nona was out of sight, Big Anthony went inside, pulled the pasta pot off the shelf, and put it on the floor. What was her rule? Don't touch the pasta pot. "Now, let's see if I can remember the words," said Big Anthony. And Big Anthony sang, "Bubble, bubble, pasta pot, boil me some pasta nice and hot. I'm hungry and it's time to sup, boil enough pasta to fill me up." And sure enough, the pot bubbled and boiled and began to fill up with pasta. "Aha!" said Big Anthony. And he ran to the town square, jumped on the fountain, and shouted, "Everyone, get forks and plates and platters and bowls, pasta for all at Strega Nona's house. Big Anthony has made the magic pasta pot work." Of course, everyone laughed, but they ran home to get forks and plates and platters and bowls, and sure enough, when they got to Strega Nona's house, the pasta pot was so full it was beginning to overflow. They're all lined up for some pasta. Big Anthony was a hero. He scooped out pasta and filled the plates and platters and bowls. There was more than enough for all the townspeople, including the priest and the sisters from the convent. And some people came back for 2 and 3 helpings. But the pot was never empty. Everybody's happy. They're all getting pasta. Anthony's so proud because he proved that he was right. They were making fun of him, but he did make the pasta pot work. When all had had their fill, Big Anthony sang, "Enough, enough, pasta pot, I have my pasta nice and hot, so simmer down my pot of clay until I'm hungry another day." But alas, he did not blow the 3 kisses. He went outside, and to the applause of the crowd, Big Anthony took a bow. He was so busy listening to compliments from everyone. Compliments means nice things people say about you. "Oh, Anthony, we were wrong about you. You made the pasta pot work. Oh, thank you for all the pasta." He didn't notice the pasta pot was still bubbling and boiling until a sister from the convent said, "Oh, Big Anthony, look!" And pasta was pouring out of the pot all over the floor of Strega Nona's house and was coming out the door. Big Anthony rushed in and shouted the magic words again, but the pot kept bubbling. He took the pot off the floor, but pasta kept on pouring from it. Big Anthony grabbed a lid or a cover and put it on the pot and sat on it. But the pasta raised the cover and Big Anthony as well and spilled on the floor of Strega Nona's house. Oh no. "Stop!" yelled Big Anthony. But the pasta did not stop. And if someone hadn't grabbed poor Big Anthony, the pasta would have covered him up. The pasta had all but filled the little house. Out of the windows and through the doors came the pasta, and the pot kept right on bubbling. How can he get it to stop? The townspeople began to worry. "Do something, Big Anthony," they shouted. Big Anthony sang the magic song again, but without the 3 kisses. It did no good. By this time, the pasta was on its way down the road, and all the people were running to keep ahead of it. He didn't listen very well, did he? He shouldn't have touched the pot. And he didn't stick around to see Strega Nona blow the 3 kisses. So now, what are they going to do? "We must protect our town from the pasta," shouted the mayor. "Get mattresses, tables, doors, anything that will make a barricade." A barricade is like a wall, so they're making this wall with doors and tables, and here comes a man with his bed, and they're trying to stop the pasta, because here's Strega Nona's house up here, and the pasta's coming down. But even that didn't work. The pot kept bubbling, and the pasta kept boiling, or kept coming. "We are lost," said the people, and the priest and the sisters of the convent began praying. "The pasta will cover our town," they cried. And it certainly would have, had Strega Nona not come down the road home from her visit. She didn't have to look twice to know what had happened. She can see Big Anthony right there trying to stop the pasta. She knows what he did. He touched the pasta pot. She sang the magic song and blew the 3 kisses, and with a sputter, the pot stopped boiling and the pasta came to a halt. "Oh, grazie, thank you, Strega Nona," the people cried. But then they turned on poor Big Anthony. "String him up!" the men of the town shouted. String him up means grab him, tie him up. They're mad at him. "Now wait," said Strega Nona. "The punishment must fit the crime." And she took a fork from a lady standing nearby and held it out to Big Anthony. "All right, Anthony, you wanted pasta from my magic pasta pot," Strega Nona said, "and I want to sleep in my little bed tonight. So start eating." He wanted that pasta. He wanted to prove that he knew what he was doing. So now, she said, "You have to eat it all because I want to sleep in my bed tonight. So this needs to be cleaned up." Oh, and he did. Poor Big Anthony. Look at his big tummy. He's not feeling so good. But there's Strega Nona sleeping in her bed. The end. Oh, we just love that story at our house. It's so much fun and silly, but it has a good lesson, doesn't it? When somebody gives us a direction, we should follow it. Because Big Anthony didn't follow that direction. Look what happened. We have lots of things that happened because of Big Anthony's choices. So I want to go through some of those today. So here I have, it says Strega Nona at the top, and I drew some pasta. And it says cause and effect. So I'm going to read a cause, and I'm going to give you a few seconds to respond. And hopefully we come up with the same answers. So the first one says, Strega Nona needed help. So because Strega Nona needed help, what did she do? What happened? She put up a sign and Big Anthony came to help her. So I'm just going to write Big Anthony came to help. So because Strega Nona needed help, Big Anthony came to help and live with her, right? Okay, next one. Big Anthony touched the pasta pot. What happened when Big Anthony touched the pasta pot? Because Big Anthony touched the pasta pot, pasta came out of the pot, right? Pasta came out of the pot. Okay, so because the pot wouldn't stop, what happened then? Because the pot wouldn't stop, I'm going to say the people ran and tried to stop it. Would you agree? They tried. The pot wouldn't stop. The pasta was covering the... Oh, maybe that would be another good one too. The pot wouldn't stop. The people ran and tried to stop it, but it was covering the town. Ah! Exclamation point. Okay, because Strega Nona blew 3 kisses, what did that make happen? Because Strega Nona blew 3 kisses, the pasta pot stopped, right? The pasta pot stopped. Have to have those 3 kisses. That's what caused the whole problem, is Anthony didn't blow the 3 kisses. So then the pasta kept coming and coming out of the pot. Had to blow the 3 kisses. All right, last one. The pasta needed to be cleaned up. Because the pasta needed to be cleaned up, what needed to happen? Big Anthony had to eat it all. Poor Big Anthony. Big Anthony had to eat it all. Oh, poor Big Anthony. Do you think he's going to learn to listen from now on? I will tell you, there's another book about Big Anthony by Tommy DePola. Maybe you can find it on the library, Omaha Public Library website or your school's website. And you can read another book about Big Anthony and see if he ever learns to listen. I'll let you find out. So I just want to remind you that Tommy DePola, again, this book Read Aloud is dedicated to him because he has just written so many wonderful books. So look him up in your library websites, anywhere else that you can find, so you can find some other great stories by him. All right, thanks. See you next time.